So, good evening. I think, yeah, all of you are there. Yes. So, we discussed single mode squeezed light generation. Uh, the principle basically we discussed, and I think if we scroll up a bit more, then we could see that we just tried to show that the ground state in position coordinate, dimensionless position coordinate. Then we can also, using Fourier transform, we could express the ground state, so-called vacuum state. Also similar Gaussian. And then the variance of momentum and uh, position, both are actually half. So that is actually following the uncertainty principle. So they are symmetric, and in phase, if you just try to see the wave function in phase space diagram, that will be somehow Gaussian in both direction, along x direction as well as momentum direction. So that is actually called vacuum state. And now if you have some kind of factor you introduce with x dependent function and momentum dependent function, then if we try to see the variance obviously, because of the Gaussian, it is changed, some number changed. So in that case, variance will be different. And for r greater than 1, we'll see that the position actually will be squeezed, and at the cost of your, if it is smaller than half, I mean to say, and the momentum will be higher than half. That is what you would supposed to get. And if r is less than 1, then momentum squeezed it will be. So our ultimate goal is that if we want to obtain such a squeezed state, that means the wave function or their expectation, position and momentum expectation, and in terms of electromagnetic wave, the quadrature, basically x1 and x2 will be considering delta x1 square and delta x2 square, whatever we discussed. So that way, if we just want to get squeezing, then we have to find what is the way out. So here just one figure it is shown. Sometimes some books you will find that they will be using this describing this squeezing in page space diagram, that is called Wegener function. So for example, here it is shown if it is a vacuum state, it is like this. So it will be x direction, this is momentum direction, and it would be just Gaussian in both direction, it is shown. And then the same thing, if it is squeezed, if it is position squeezed, it will be looking like this. And if it is momentum squeezed, then it will be looking like that, according to the wave function we have seen earlier. But for a coherent state, coherent state, it will have some length, and then you will have some kind of vacuum fluctuations will be there, similar to this vacuum state, just it will be scaled up things. And then this state also can be considered like E and F. You see that it can be momentum squeezed as well as it can be position squeezed. So this is the representation, just to visualize things, how it happens normally. And now we'll try to understand how to generate this squeezed light. The mathematical we understand that how we should get at least one of the quadratures should be squeezed, and experimentally also we have learned how to detect them. if it is phase squeezed or if it is amplitude squeezed, we know how to measure. Now next challenge is that experimentally how to generate. We have just shown that in case of lithium niobate, some periodically poled waveguide is used for Chi2 nonlinear crystals, and then we have shown some results also, published result recently. But what is the mechanism? What is the physics behind this squeezed light generation? So here is some kind of, again, we try to take some help of mathematics, that how can be actually achieved that type of squeezing. Okay. And once we understand, it is like something like that hardware language. Now we will try to understand so that we can design a device accordingly. So let us consider state as following. So this is the state psi. What is state 0? And then it's a superposition of two states. Okay. I can I can represent this as a kate function, as well as it can be also like a what do you call that, bra function, bra psi. So that's a complex conjugate, something like that. So in this case, you see this kate 0 and kate 2 are the photon number state. We know that they are Fock states. Complying, they are actually Fock state, and they are also because they are states solution, so they are orthonormal also. We should know that. Yeah. And when we consider kate 0, that means it is a vacuum state. No photons are there. Ground state of a oscillator. If it is a mode of a we have learned earlier, no, that's a Fabry-Pérot cavity, and then if it is a mode, and then we have that thing for what you call that. So that's a vacuum state. So when there is no photons, that is 0. That's a vacuum state, we should call it as. And then when we are considering 2, that means 2 photon state. Number of photons will be 2. That is what photon number state we have learned here. But here we are just we could use the plus or minus or whatever. That does not matter. Here we have just expressed minus, and some parameter we have used s. Okay, so this s is a real number. In this case, for this example we are considering, it can be complex. In case of superposition, we can have complex also, but since here it is 1 and it is something is there, so normally we should any state, any eigenstate or wave function we are representing, that is always good to have normalized one. So kate 0, you can assume that is normalized, and here we have used some additional fraction. We don't know kate 2 if it is normalized or not, but we just can say that this as is very small. Okay, so such that just a small fraction, very little coefficient is there, you are just superposing. That is almost vacuum state, and then we are just adding this thing. This is just assumption. Okay, so this s is the real number, but assumed to be small, so that the norm of psi is close to 1. So this is just practically, normally we will try to get such situation also. Okay, if this type of thing happens, this type of state exists, or you can generate. That's the whole idea. What happens? So now you see, okay, this is the state is there. Whether this one is a squeezed state or not, we want to prove, because this thing we can generate experimentally. Okay, this type of situation we can create experimentally. Now we have to show that this is a squeezed state or not. Okay, so let us try to see. Since we have shown earlier that the position operator x and momentum operator p are analogous to the field quadratures. Okay, this is x1, x is missing, x1 and x2 of the electromagnetic wave mode. We can express them in terms of creation and annihilation operator. I think you remember when we discussed about quantum harmonic oscillator, then we have related this position operator and momentum operator to creation and annihilation operator. Okay, there if you just scroll up, and you could find that we have discussed that. And since this x and p, we have used some kind of dimensionless thing, so normally those m and h cut omega, those things will be removed. So we can express this position operator, the 1 over root 2 a plus a dagger. So a dagger is the creation operator, or a normal operator, that's the annihilation operator. We have given some examples also and some assignments. How to use that. They are not Hermitian, but only they can actually create one additional photon, or it can annihilate one photon from the state. So that is what we know. So position operator is related to like this, and momentum operator is related to like this. That we have discussed earlier. I just repeat it here, reproduced here. You can check, go back and try to see that. Now, well, we know this is the x operator, and this is a position operator, this is a momentum operator. Now, if I try to find out what is the expectation average of x for this state, whatever state we supposed to generate physically, we try to find the average of x. I know this operator is this one. So this is nothing but we have to take expectation of this one, this observable, that is quantum mechanically. So this is the brass eye, and then this one, then cat's eye. So we have to insert this wave function here and check what you get. What you supposed to get? Anyone can tell? Normally, if you take a ground state and try to find expectation or position, what you supposed to get normally? Anyone can tell me?
0, sir.
It should be 0, right? Who said that? Vaibhavi. Okay. So it should be 0, right? So we have to see that with this thing, whatever we are getting, what would be the value here for this? Because this is not a ground state. This is some kind of superposition state, right? So modified state. Ground state is this one. This is a vacuum state. So I would like to get what is the value of this one. Okay, just I put down the value, that is your brass eye, and then this is your operator, that's the position operator, and kit. And then this I think you just what I did, this one, and then a, and then this is a kit, and then a dagger bracket I have just put down here. Okay, so if you just see how you should see that, suppose you are operating a on 0, what you supposed to get? Because it is a normally annihilation operator. So normally a operating on 0, it's supposed to, you supposed to get 0. We know that because you cannot annihilate more, right? But if you annihilate 2, what you will get? You supposed to get 1. So this function will become 1. This Fock state will become 1 because one photon will be annihilated, right? And then you just see what is the value. Similarly, here also you are just creating 0, you are creating 1, and creating this will be 3. Then if you see, if you just again multiply after just operating on this, and if you just take a projection with the bra vector here, right, then what you supposed to get? You supposed to get the x equal to 0. That means the expectation, our average expectation is also 0, even though you are just doing superposition of this thing. So you may be wondering why you are why we are working on superposition with a vacuum state to 2, photon number 2. That we'll come to know little later. If we could use 1 here also, then you may not get 0 here. But if you use 2, you can get 0. Whatever value it is coming, normal operation you can see. Now, we try to get x square. You know why we are trying to get x square? Because we want to find out the delta x square variance we want to find out, because variance expression is this one, delta x square equal to x square minus x square. This part is become 0, is becoming 0. So I try to find out x square. X square means, that means your operator a dagger square and 1 by root 2 here, 1 by 2. So again this square you have to just get expectation. So this, if you multiply, you just get 4 terms, and again you operate on this, and finally you get this one, this value you are getting. Okay, so now you see we have delta x square, that value is like this. That means variance is now 1 over 2 minus s. Okay, what does it mean basically? If you see here, if it is a vacuum state only, ground state we have shown here. I think if it is a ground state, we have shown that the position operator and both momentum operator, their variance are normally half. But when we do this type of superposition, if we create this type of state, two Fock state superposition we are creating, then we try to find out the variance, and that variance is now 1 by 2 minus s. Now you see, if s is a positive number, so that's a small number, we say that it's just 0 plus, for example. Okay, so in that case, half minus something plus, that means this will be reduced. Okay, so that means the variance, position variance will be reduced. So that means position squeezed. It will be position squeezed. And you can show that if you calculate delta p square, it will be half, whatever it is squeezed, that will be added there, so that delta x square and delta p square, it maintains 1 over 4. Okay, so what is the take home message? That this, if s is a positive number, then you can get delta x squeezed. If delta s is a negative number means here supposed to be plus basically. So then it is a momentum things squeezed. So that means ultimately what we get, if you have a vacuum state exist, and then you just somehow you work on something, some kind of Fock state you generate, and you just try to get a superposition with a vacuum state, then you will be getting your vacuum state, same vacuum state, it will be squeezed. So that's why it is called squeezed vacuum state. Okay, so that is possible. This type of situation, if you can create, that is possible. Now how that is happening? So there are, you see, I mentioned that spontaneous parametric down conversion. So this spontaneous parametric down conversion, as I mentioned, that you should have a pump. Let us concentrate this figure here. You should have a pump and nonlinear chi2 crystal. Then you will have two daughter photons will be generated from pump photons, a signal and idler. Okay, such that, as I mentioned earlier, that there should be momentum conservation. Suppose this is your K pump, that means wave vector of the pump is this one, and then you have to have this Ks and Ki should be adjusted so that Ks plus Ki should be K pump. So their direction can be different. And if the material is such that it is somehow phase matching condition is somehow your refractive indexes and wavelength frequency matched such that it need not be in different direction. They can be also same direction. That means that simply Ks, Ki, and then K pump, all three can propagate in the same direction. That is also possible. Both can be propagating in two directions, that is also possible, and they can be same direction, that is also possible. And similarly, You see, it's kind of momentum conservation, and another thing is that energy conservation. So this is the energy conservation, two things. Then what you could do, see that this two daughter photons, depending on the phase matching condition, these two daughter photons can be same frequency or they can be different frequency also. Okay. Yeah, tell me, Anjana. Anjana, you wanted to ask question?
No, sir.
You raised your hand. I think that's clicked something showing. Okay, so this omega s and omega I can be similar, same. Then it will be called degenerate photons, right? So here in the top figure A and B, if you see, it is shown that this is same nonlinear Chi2 crystal where actually this spontaneous parametric down conversion can take place, and two generated photons, they are identical, they are degenerate, and they are traveling in the same direction. Okay, so it is, and this one here, it is shown that after generation, two daughter photons, they are diverting because they are phase matching in different direction. Their k vector momentum conservation is such that they have to travel in different direction, and they can be also to different frequencies. So this is a special case we are considering where they are traveling in same direction, same polarization, same frequency, two photons. That type of situation we can create. So here we just summarized spontaneous parametric down conversion is a nonlinear optical process in which a photon of powerful laser field propagating through a second order nonlinear optical medium may split into two photons of lower energy. The frequencies, wave vectors, polarization of the generated photons are governed by phase matching condition. Now, when single mode squeezed vacuum will be there, when this SPDC is degenerate, that means this is the situation. That is when the two generated photons are indistinguishable in their parameters. Parameters in terms of frequency, direction, and polarization. They are indistinguishable. They are identical. The quantum state of the optical mode into which the vacuum photon pairs are emitted exhibits squeezing. So originally there was no photons with that frequency, right? So when pump was there, before pump, I think you could imagine that it's like everything is zero, nothing is there. But when your pump is there, pump is hitting, then you are getting some frequency omega. Two photons you are getting at same frequency, two photons. But those two photons you are just putting where, because you have a, for that particular mode, your vacuum state is already there, zero, ket zero was there. Now these two photons just adding there in that vacuum state. That is what you should look like. That you have a vacuum state, that 0 point energy state, and then you are suddenly creating there. That was not pumped from outside. That just there itself it is generated and it's just feeding into that mode. So then that is actually exactly the situation what we have discussed so far. This type of situation. Two photons. That's why I have not put one photon, right? So two photons, Fock state will be generated, and then it is just superposing into the vacuum state, and then you can find that there will be a squeezing situation will be happened. Okay. So now that is your so-called single photon. Single mode squeezed state. That is actually just considering this one. This one I will be coming later when we'll be talking about two mode squeezing. This is single mode squeezing, and single mode squeezing is mostly this type of thing is useful for interferometric application where you need a squeezing for a very good stable interference pattern. Particularly now you know there's a CERN project, LIGO project, gravitational wave measurement. That's a huge project running all over world. and they are actually trying to develop a very good quality squeezed light source. So that's why that's a hot topic these days. So if you can generate a very good squeezed state so that your noise level can be lower than the short noise level. So first time when it was demonstrated about 2 decades ago, I think 3 decades ago, maybe around 1990s or something like that. That time squeezing was just below 2 dB, 3 dB or something like that. Some results we have shown in the earlier class. But nowadays, very recently, just a couple of years ago, I think the record is that the squeezing actually the noise level could be reduced below the short noise level up to 10 dB, 10 dB below the short noise level. So they are pretending that is good enough for LIGO experiment with sensitive measurement. And but I think always thing is that people are demonstrating with those type of squeezed light with all bulk optics are there, some crystals, then huge mirrors, and then oscillators, and then stabilization externally, huge things are there. So always good to have if you can fabricate everything on a chip. So that's a new research is opening so that it can be fabricated. Particularly, it is interesting if you can demonstrate in silicon, so that you can use microelectronics, CMOS industry, CMOS foundries. All right. Now two mode, how that can be squeezed. So that is actually very interesting. And this two mode squeezing actually you can use for your so-called all sorts of computation and communication purpose you can use. So I think this is actually nothing but we'll be talking about what we understand so far. That's an entanglement. Okay. So whenever this frequencies generated, and they are different, they are propagating in different direction, they are released. Okay, the momentum conservation, etc. Then we'll be you will be just considering them, how much they are entangled and how you can use them for QKD purpose or and communication purpose, etc. So here just this literal statement here, a combination of two vacuum states. Now you consider two vacuum states. Okay, sorry, just a minute. Okay, so sorry. So two vacuum state that is closely related to the single oscillator squeezed vacuum in its theoretical description and experimental procedures. So you imagine that if it is two different frequencies being generated, that two frequency actually is feeding into your two vacuum state that is separate, because two different frequencies, two different mode. But if they are correlated somehow, so that you can treat them as a combined state, combination of two vacuum states. It is something like that we have discussed earlier. You know, if you just think about a whole system that is divided into two subsystems, and then each subsystems you can actually define a state, you can measure observables independently what is happening to other. You don't need to bother you if they are not at all entangled, you can independently treat them. And also combined wave function also you can define, which can be factor. That is what the quantum mechanics should allow that. But sometimes we have seen also, if normally if you are dividing into two subspace, and to the subspace or two systems, again independently you are defining with states with their Hilbert space with finite dimensions, then combined thing you will have the Hilbert space, which is a tensor product of the vector spaces, basis of the both systems. So basis will be different. For example, we have shown there will be 4 bases. If it is 2-dimensional Hilbert space, then combined things you can express in 4-dimensional, and then the psi can be treated as a such that two of the basis vector you can take, and then you can say that they cannot be factored and they are entangled basically. So that concept you should keep in mind to understand this. Okay, so here the two mode squeezed vacuum state we will be just simply will be calling like TMSV, sometimes known as a twin beam state. So what is happening there? You just consider the two vacuum state. Now their combined state, you can just use like this tensor product, right? One vacuum state, another vacuum state, because two frequency you are generating from the down, parametric down conversion. So their vacuum states will be there, and the combined thing will be their tensor product we discussed earlier. Now if you just consider if XA and XB, there means A and B, there are two different states, are the position observables of the two oscillators. So two oscillators when they are in the ground state, vacuum state, which are traditionally associated with a fictional experimentalist Alice and Bob. So normally two ground state, and their measurement, position measurement, you are just considering one system position measurement XA position and position observable, another XB, and you consider that one is Alice and another is Bob. So A stands for Alice here, XA Alice, and that is traditionally it is mentioned Alice, and XB is the Bob. So two variables we are considering, one is Alice site, another is Bob site. Now you know their tensor product, if you see, if you are just expressing like a function like a psi, you know, for first vacuum state, if you just try to express in terms of XA, that means it will be 1 over pi to the power 1 by 4 e to the power minus x square by 2, right? That is the ground state. It is similar to that one we have just expressed earlier, right? Ground state. Yeah. So this is the ground state, pi to the power 1 x. So if it is a first mode XA position variable, so XA square by 2 pi to the power 1 by 4, and second one will be XB square by 2. Then the combined tensor product, if it is in a function wise, so you are just simply multiplying to express that thing. So that means combined thing, you are just simply multiplying two functions. Okay, so that means entire XA square and XB square, everything you can just think about a joint vacuum state. They can be factored, by the way, they can be factored, right? So this is a factor, this is a factor, things are there, right? And this expression, you can little bit trick you apply here. You can express like this, because as long as you are just considering them as a joint thing, right? So you can introduce two position operators, two different position operator, which actually combines both XA and XB. Instead of they are separable here, right? So we can introduce one more if you are just considering them combined things. Then I can express. If you see, if I express like this, they are basically same thing. 433, 434, they are same, but I have just written in a little bit different way. Okay, so that I have one observables I can express like that, XA minus XB by square root 2, and another observable I can just put XA plus XB by square root 2. That means I'm just thinking a position operator which combines two things. That way I'm just looking into it, right? So both are having again, if I just consider only this one, both are having Gaussian distribution with variance half. If you just try to find out what is because it is Gaussian, you will be getting this observable variance will be one half. We have shown earlier also, and this one also the observable variance will be half also. So that is for sure, we know that. So this is not surprising, because in the double vacuum state, Alice and Bob position observables are uncorrelated. So nothing happened to things, even though I have just written in a different format, but still different measurement combined wave function. If I just measure again with a position with a different variable, little bit of transformed. Variables are transformed. That's a superposition. Two position operator. I have just used like a superposition of two those things, and they are also again coming like even though you are making superposition, your position and position operators, two different variables coming, they are also like a Gaussian, and you get also the variance half. So that is nothing interesting so far, right? So if you are just writing this, whether you are using this variable or this variable, this observable, nothing interesting. It's a half, you are getting something like that. But if you do something like this, okay, suppose you have a variable, joint variable, xi minus xb square by 2, and you introduce same way, you are treating like a single state now, right? Earlier we have used the squeezing parameter, right? We can use this r square and this one here, right? 4r square like this. So this thing I will just when I am writing like this, then it is called two-mode squeezed vacuum state. This one, because in this case, this joint thing, it's a they are actually quantum mechanically will become correlated. That means this type of situation, this observable will see if it is a squeezed, then other will be relaxed. Okay, so for a given r, I just put down like this. So for r greater than 1, the variance of this one, that means this variance, it will be less than half. That is below the value of the double vacuum state. Okay, so then combined situation, what I'll do, if I just create something like this, r square, similar to single mode way, whatever we have put vacuum state and then minus s over square root I have just added. But here I'm just considering I will be creating two different photon, and these two different photon I'm just feeding to combined state, right? In the combined state, if I just can create this type of r, if I just can some kind of device, I am designing such that this type of situation can be created by means of some kind of superposition, same way, whatever I discussed earlier. Then that will be called as a entangled state. Now that two thing will be entangled. That means they will be somehow correlated. If you can measure one, then and get the value, then you can predict what is happening to the other. That is what that is a EPR paradox, and then that's collapse of this thing, entanglement or so-called things are there. So similarly, this is position. If I think about the position or one particular quadrature, if I just think about this thing, I think this should be 435. So this 435, if you just do Fourier transform like before, but it is a two-dimensional Fourier transform. Earlier you have done e to the power minus x square, then e to the power ipx you did, but it is two-dimensional, x variation, y variation, xb variation. Two variables are there. So these variables and these variables, two different variables. You do Fourier transform, then you get something like that. This is just a complementary thing, you see. Yes.
Sir, so you're saying that if we introduce the R parameter, that is squeezing parameter, in the two-mode vacuum state, it will become entangled. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
That is entangled, but I need to know how this type of situation can be created practically.
Yeah. Yes.
So like single mode situation, we have shown that if you just create something like this, first I am just trying to see that mathematically what you want basically. And that type of situation can be created if we get that two photons you are feeding into one vacuum state, one particular vacuum state. Two photons are generated, they will be feeding to one vacuum state. Then it is that type of superposition is creating a squeezed state, vacuum squeezed. That is a single mode vacuum squeezed, that is called. So that has one type of application. And then here, whatever we are getting, if we because we know this type of situation we can have also two different frequency. They will be feeding two different vacuum state, and these two different vacuum state you can define in a combined function. That is the tensor product, right? So that tensor, if it is feeding to that one, and that tensor product, if you try to look afterwards, and you will find that they are actually somehow entangled, some way the entire function is somehow way it is squeezed, and that squeezing is actually somehow correlated, either correlated or anti-correlated, something like that. Either anti-correlated means if it's a spin up, spin down, or polarization, horizontal, vertical, that type of things will be there. Okay, so
Sir,
that
then how will we measure this polarization of entangled states? Like it's like Fox states, right? 0, and it only shows the photon number.
that is a number mathematically, but
Yes.
ultimately whenever you are measuring the entanglement, either you measure you don't measure the number, you know that is either one photon or two
Yes,
photons
yes.
coming, you are just measuring the polarization.
Yeah, how will we measure that polarization?
That polarization is a normal method,
Okay, okay, sir.
normal classically, that we'll discuss those things.
Okay.
Okay, that's a normal method polarization. You just you're in the Alice site and Bob site, you can just consider random measurement, two different basis set you can use, and then you can measure. Those things I will be discussing that thing. Okay, so now we know the mechanisms that how you can get a mathematically you can get, but I will be same way whatever I discussed for single mode, that K0 minus S by 2, then how much squeezing you will be getting there, and here also you can also define how much entanglement you will be getting, degree of entanglement. Okay, so normally this degree of entanglement can vary also. That means how much they are correlated or anti-correlated. That thing also we can define. So that is actually called yield of the entanglement. Sometimes it is called yield of the entanglement. So that I'll be discussing. I'm just following this. I think that is this type of treatment I am taking from only one recent paper published, I think a couple of years ago. I think I don't have, I don't find any textbook explaining such nicely. I thought I will be discussing, and maybe I need couple of more lectures to discuss that paper. Then I will give that paper also. You can go through that in details. That's a nicely written paper. Okay, I just stop here today, and maybe tomorrow we'll continue. And if you have any question, yeah.
Sir, if the pump photon goes to the non-linear medium, then it doesn't instantaneously create that pump and a single outlet.
Sorry, once again, can you say?
Sir, in the previous slide, sir.
Previous slide, yeah.
Sir, in the pump photon, if it goes through the non-linear crystal, then it doesn't instantaneously create that single and outlet photon. So there can be a possibility that instead of vacuum state, there can be the pump photon state will be there.
Yeah, pump photon also will be there also. I think.
So, but we are considering only there will be only vacuum state only.
Aha. So thing is that the pump photon, whatever is, that is a different mode. That is a different frequency, right?
Yes, yes.
So you can filter that.
Okay.
So that whatever leftover thing, that particular mode, you are just filtering, you are attenuating. That is a challenging task also. That is also a challenging task. That pump photon is a noise now.
Okay.
Because the squeezed state you are generating, that is with the two daughter photons. That is with the help of two daughter photons. Okay. So this is one way of demonstrating squeeze. There are many other ways, of course. For example, people demonstrated squeezed light from the semiconductor laser also. So that is actually not so interesting. The yield is not that great, and that's why I think whatever this thing, it is a nonlinear crystal, particularly SPDC, spontaneous parametric down conversion, and SFWM, spontaneous four-way mixing process. Those are very interesting, and people are looking for it. So pump photon, once it is just used for your generation. That's it. And afterwards it is a noise. You have to eliminate, and if it is there, that pump photon is there, that actually it will hamper your detection ultimately and performance. So you should be careful that carefully that pump photon is completely diverted. For here, for example, if this type of situation is there, you know that pump photon, direction of the pump photon and signal and idler is different. So you can easily separate that.
Yes.
But when it is co-propagating, it is very extremely difficult, particularly if you are using in waveguide.
So that's why, sir, we are using DBR.
Yes, yes, that is why we want. That's why it is. People are also trying to develop a filter which could be useful for suppressing the pump, at least up to 100 dB suppression required, so that you can. Otherwise, that pump will create some kind of short noise level, all those type of things. No?
Yes.
Fine. Okay.